in the morning. We've got a couple of heavies about to head out. We've got an Ethiopian to Addis Ababa, A350, and we've got a couple of Norwegians, as well as the Wizz A321 XLR in the XLR livery, and I'm assuming that is going to Jeddah. Just had a Norwegian takeoff to Stockholm, and we have a A319 EasyJet coming in from Nantes. And it is just about to come into shot very soon. That's why all the aircraft are holding for it. As you can see, we've got some spotters down there. They can see where it's coming. They're getting their cameras ready. And you can slowly hear it coming into shot. There we go. Here it comes. Nice A319 from Nantes EasyJet. Flap 4 landing, as you can tell by the attitude, it isn't as steep as a flap 3. Slowly coming into the flare. Unfortunately, that container is in the way, and looks like they have touched down now. Just slowly releasing that pressure onto the nose wheel. Ethiopian 350 looks like it's coming. That is off to Addis Ababa, as I said earlier. And we have a TUI behind it that is going to Cancun. We have Sun Express from Antalya, 1,000 feet, so about 3 mile final currently. So let's see. Gatwick's usually pretty good with the spacing, with the takeoffs, with the departures and the arrivals. Here goes the 350. And there we go. Probably a flex takeoff. Gatwick's got quite a long runway, and the Trent XWBs on the 350 are quite powerful, so I'm assuming a flex takeoff. Just got a Vueling taxiing in quite quickly. That one just came in earlier, 320 Neo. TUI is going to be taxiing into place. After the Sun Express, we have a EasyJet 320 from Ibiza, Golf X-Ray Tango Lima. I've actually flown that aircraft from Gatwick to Hamburg, and Hamburg back to Gatwick. 6 miles final, so they're just going gear down now for that 320. Here comes the Sun Express from Antalya. Sounds like that Norwegian 737-800 is going to be taxiing into place. That one is going to Riga. So we have Norwegian to Riga. We have the XLR 321 Wizz, that's going to Prague, and the TUI 787-9 going to Cancun. EasyJet from Ibiza, it's about 3 mile final now. They're about 1,000 feet up, so they should be fully configured at VAP, which will be about 130 to 135 knots. Here goes the Norwegian to Riga. Mr. PMMR, I am good, thank you. How are you? Lovely day here in Gatwick in the UK. Quite warm. I think it's about 18, 19 degrees. Very sunny, which is beautiful. That is excellent to hear. So yeah, both the TUI and the Wizz, they're going to be holding for the EasyJet 320. which is now about a mile out now, 400 feet. After the EasyJet 320 from Ibiza, we have a A319 from Edinburgh. And here we can hear the 320 from Ibiza. Shallowed off that rate of descent into landing, and looks like he has touched down now. Very nice. Where am I? What the flip? Where are you? I'm at London Gatwick at the Perimeter Road. Here we go. We've got the Wizz A321 XLR, the first one that Wizz received, and this one's going to Prague. And there it goes, the Wizz 321 XLR to Prague with the Pratt & Whitney geared turbofan engines Wizz has on their 321 Neos and 321 XLRs. So it looks like EasyJet now is 400 feet, 3-mile final. So TUI and Norwegian is going to be holding for them as they come in. And you can slowly hear it, the 319. There it comes. Flat full landing again. Notice the attitude isn't as high as if it was a flat 3. Slowly keeping it coming down. And you've got a bit of heating from the runway, so that's keeping them a bit of a float. And now they've touched down. And that would look like a quite smooth landing, so that was very good. And that was EZDJ. I've actually flown that aircraft, and I have flown that to Olbia. Lovely aircraft. I do like flying the 319s. They are a dream to fly. Here comes TUI. TUI 787-9, and that is off to Cancun. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move forward a little, just because, sorry about the filming, because we've got that blue thing, that blue container that gets in the way when we want to film the flare. So I'll move after the TUI. And here comes the TUI. There it goes. We've got on final approach an EasyJet 320 Neo. That's 500 feet, so just over 3-mile final, coming in from Venice. Looks like also we've got a EasyJet 321 Neo and a BA triple. Sorry for the poor filming, I do not have a tripod. There we go, you can hear the Neo engines, CFM LEAP engines. Do like flying the Neo. There we go, nice stable approach, or short final into London Gatwick, 26 left. Here it comes, keeps it coming down, a little bit of a float, and touchdown nice, smoothly, releasing that forward, or that back pressure to allow the nose to come down, and then reverse thrust. We've got BA triple, that's going to Orlando, MCO. We've got the Norwegian 737-800, that's going to Bergen, and this EasyJet Europe 321 Neo is about to leave for Lisbon. So that 321 Neo, once it's clear for takeoff, which it looks like it is, it's going to increase the thrust levers to 50%, let it stabilize, 2 clicks, flex, man flex, whatever temperature, SRS runway auto thrust blue will be the call outs. And the pilot monitoring, once the thrust is set to the specific N1, he will call thrust set before 60 knots. Slowly by 100 knots, he'll be releasing the forward pressure to stabilize, to equalize it so it's neutral, and the pilot monitoring will also call 100 knots, and the pilot flying will call checked. We've got the Air Transat now. It's about 3 miles, just over 3 miles in, or 3 miles away, over the M23 at final approach speed VAP, which for the Airbus is around 130 to 140 depending on the wind. I'm not sure about the 330. It's obviously going to be a bit more as it is a heavier aircraft. Here comes the 330. And there we go, a lovely smooth touchdown by the 330. Also known by from some people as the butter machine. Norwegian to Bergen, that's going to be lining up in place, lining up and waiting until the 330 has vacated, and then it will be off to Bergen. Well, the aircraft we have coming in, we've got a 320 TAP Air Portugal from Porto, and we've also got the BA 777-200ER in the One World livery from Cancun, as well as another Air Transat. This time it's a 321 Neo LR that is coming in from Montreal. And there goes the 777, or not 777, 737. BA triple lining up and waiting with the GE90 engines to Orlando, and you can tell from the registration if they have GE90s or Trents. If they are GVI, they have the GE90s, and if they are GYM, they will have the Trent engines. So that's a cool way to tell what engines they have. There goes the roar of the triples. And we've got the TAP 320 about a mile out now, which is facing a Gatwick. They're usually very good. And there goes the 777 to Orlando. Coming over here now. Should be hearing the 320 very shortly. Now that's looks like quite a high nose up attitude. So they might be doing a flap 3 landing. And they'll have a bit higher speed because they are flap 3. And there they go, they've touched down. You can see the Transat 330 taxiing back in the background on Juliet. I'm just going to move up a little bit just because we've got those darn containers in the way of the flare. Chris Stubbs, what the flip is that voice? Well, it's my voice and it is what it is. Would you prefer this or Big Jet TV shouting at you? Shouting about things he doesn't really know about as he's not a pilot. And you are back, welcome back, Mr. PMR. We've got a Corendon. Yeah, Corendon, that's how you say it. That is going to be leaving for Heraklion in Greece. 737-800. And about 8 miles out, we have the BA triple, the One World livery that's in from Cancun. That's YMMF. Now, the Portugal, the TAP has vacated. The triple is about 7 miles out, and the Corendon is still holding. Now, I don't know if they have a slot. They might have a slot, and that's why they're waiting, or they might be waiting for cabin to be secure for departure. It is a Greek flight. There may be some people there that are a bit rowdy, a bit excited to go on holiday to Heraklion. So that's probably why they're waiting, as there's nothing on the runway and they've got plenty of space for the triple. Triple is now 6 miles out. So yeah, looks like they'll probably have a slot. Yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I post short videos of my spotting sessions. Should be posting some videos, a couple of shorts from when I went to Munich to spot the Lufthansa 350s and the 380s. And eventually, eventually might do a full setup, spotting setup for live streaming. We'll see. It's just for fun. But yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. There's a couple of links. There's my jet photos if you want to check out my photography. Feel free to. And we've got the BA triple now. It's 2 miles out. And behind that we've got the Air Transat 321 LR. And then an EasyJet 319 from Jersey. Looks like not really many delays at Gatwick. It looks like no one's holding at Willow or Timber. So, as you can see, it's quite quiet. Comes ebbs and flows here at Gatwick with the traffic. But yeah, let's move the camera around for the BA triple. Bit of a float, very long float actually. He's still floating. And now he's touched down. It looks like, yes, little puff of smoke. So the reason he floated, as the temperature gets warmer, the heat rises off of the runway. And so if you flare as you normally would, you may float a little. So you just got to really keep that attitude in and just let it sit down. If you over control it, you just get a balloon even more, and then you will go beyond the touchdown zone and will have to do a go around. And you don't want to do, well, it would actually be a bulk landing because it's below 50 feet, not a go around. We've got a 320, that's going to be holding. At the holding point, that's going to split EZ Oscar India 320 CO with the sharklets, and that 7-3 to Heraklion, the Corendon, still waiting around. They must have a slot due to maybe weather en route or French ATC, as it usually is, because they're usually striking. Air Transat 321 LR from Montreal is 2 miles out, and that's in the normal livery. There is a special livery of the 321 LR Air Transat in the Montreal Impact, which is the MLS football team, or soccer team as they call it in North America. EasyJet's on final as well, 2,200 feet, so about 6.5-7 miles out, so they should be going gear down very soon. And then we've got a 320 from Bordeaux, that's just turning base now, 197 ground speed, so they're going to be flap 1. Here comes the 321 LR. As you can see, that one's look at that, floating a bit. But yeah, you just got to hold that attitude and just let it sit down. And looks like they've touched down now, yeah, slowly putting the nose wheel down. How long has the Corendon been waiting for? I'm not quite sure. They started taxiing how long ago? Probably, I would say a good 5 minutes, which is probably then the slot, and that's the reason why they're holding. Also got the EasyJet to split is going to be behind it, and a TAP ERJ 190. I think they're going to taxi around it, but yeah, Corendon and EasyJet, they're holding at Mike 1. That's usually where they put you if you have a slot that is a decent amount of time. Here comes EasyJet from Jersey, 700 feet, so just over 2 miles out, so they'll be fully configured. And the Transat has vacated. Yeah, it looks like the ERJ 190 TAP is going to go behind those 2 aircraft at the holding point Mike. So yeah, it looks like both those, the EasyJet to split and the Corendon to Heraklion has a slot. And here comes the EasyJet A319 from Jersey. Slowly coming, a little bit of ground effect where they handle it nicely, and it's touched down very nicely. Looks like Corendon is finally lining up and waiting. We also have a EasyJet Switzerland to Geneva as well. HBJXF. I've actually spotted that EasyJet Switzerland, and that's in the queue for jet photos. Actually, the EasyJet Switzerland registration. Here comes Corendon. EasyJet has vacated, so they should be clear for takeoff. There it goes. I've got the EasyJet 320 from Bordeaux. It's 2-mile final, so they're just going to be waiting for that EasyJet to arrive. And then behind that EasyJet, we have the Aurigny, or however you pronounce it, ATR from Guernsey. Here comes the EasyJet from Bordeaux. Going for the flare, they've floated and they've touched down now. Yeah, so it looks like things are heating up here at Gatwick with the temperatures causing the aircraft, once they get close to the ground, to start floating. Yeah, it's 21 degrees now. So there's the EasyJet Switzerland 320 to Geneva, 50% stable, and then into the Flex detent. Sorry about this poor filming. So it looks like, yeah, they're just waiting for the Aurigny now. And we've got a Turkish 321 Neo behind that EasyJet to split, so they might have a slot as well. Very blank livery, that Aurigny. That's the old Avianca livery. Well, that's the Avianca new livery. But looks like they've got rid of the ATRs in South America. There you go, nice touchdown, nice smooth touchdown. We've got, at the holding point, we've got a WestJet Max to Halifax. That looks like it's lining up and waiting. And that is in the new livery. Good morning, how are you? I am good, thank you. How are you? Here goes the Max 8. Here comes the EasyJet 320 from Madrid. They're floating a bit as well. And looks like they've touched down now. So yeah, definitely heating up here at Gatwick. Now it's about 21 degrees. High of 24, so it's almost at the highest. And here's TAP ERJ 190. And that is off to Lisbon. Behind the TAP, we've got a 321 BA Euroflyer off to Heraklion, and then we have a Vueling 320 to Barcelona. And we've got an EasyJet from Milan Linate A319, just under 2 miles out, so that one's going to be next. And here comes the EasyJet. Quite a big float as well. Very big float. And sorry, just moving the camera. I think they've touched down now, which they have. There's the 322 split lining up and waiting. as we have a EasyJet 319 from Belfast, about 3 miles out, just under 3 miles out. So hopefully, well, that EasyJet 319's vacated. They should be clear for takeoff now, which they are. And that 320 CO with the sharklets is off to Split in Croatia. Now, one thing about the COs with the sharklets versus the COs with the fence tips, they are a pain in the butt to slow down. They're so slippery because of the sharklets. They're quite efficient through the air, so they are very hard to slow down when ATC asks you for 180 till 6 and 160 till 4, especially at Gatwick. And here we go, we're going to turn the camera around. 319 from Belfast. Yeah, so they went for the flare, and now they just have to hold that attitude, and now they touch down nicely, which is good. So it looks like we'll have the Turkish 321 Neo off to Istanbul takeoff, and then behind that, about 3 mile final, we have a EasyJet 320 Neo from Alicante. And EasyJet has vacated, so they should be clear for takeoff. And EasyJet is less than a mile. Here we go. What's your favorite type of plane? Well, I do like the 350. Yeah, I like the 350, the 1000, that's a nice one. To fly, my favorite type, I do like flying the 320 Neo or the 319. 319, it's like a little sports car. 320 Neo. Yes, it takes a while for the engines to start up, but it does fly very nicely as well. And here is Vueling, lining up and waiting for the EasyJet Neo to vacate, and then it is off to Barcelona. There it goes. And on final approach, at about 2 miles, we have another EasyJet 319 from Pula. Here comes the 319. So we've got 321 BA Euroflyer off to Heraklion. Then we have a 319 from La Rochelle EasyJet, and then we have a BA triple in the One World livery from Las Vegas. After the BA One World, I think that's going to be the last aircraft of the stream, just because it is getting quite hot, and I would like to get some photos off of the ITA 320 Neo for jet photos, so I'm going to have both hands full for that. So Euroflyer 321 to Heraklion. Looks like, yeah, no one's at the holding point now, so have that 319 from La Rochelle and the BA triple that's just turning final now, which is about 9 miles out. And the EasyJet 319 from La Rochelle is just under a mile out, so let's move the camera around for it. And unfortunately, the shipping containers are in the way, so couldn't catch the touchdown. But it seemed like quite a nice final approach and short final. Didn't see any ballooning or floating. Yeah, it looks like Gatwick's pretty quiet. There's no aircraft holding at the usual hold points of Timber or Willow. The ITA didn't have to do anything. The BA didn't have to do anything. Yeah, seems quite quiet. So here's the last aircraft of the stream. It is a BA 777 200ER. Yankee Mike Echo in the BA One World livery from Las Vegas, and that is about 5 miles out. Got the Airpiece 777-300, not the ER, just a normal 300 with the Rolls-Royce Trent engines. That is off to Lagos in Nigeria. Not too much longer now. The BA Triple is only 3 miles away now. There's the Airpiece Triple. Some other spotters down there. I think some are taking photos, some are taking the registrations. But photos from there, it's quite a tight angle, unfortunately. So I like a more wider angle, personally. So I'm going to go further back for the ITA. Here comes the BA Triple from Vegas. There we go, nice smooth touchdown, handled the thermals very nicely. Got a bunch of one worlds here, I think there's 3. There's YMME, YMMR and YMMF. Airpiece off to Lagos, and that BA1 world is off to Antigua. ITA is about just over 6 miles, 7 miles out. Oh, sorry, about 4 miles out, that's my mistake. Looks like Airpiece is going before it comes. I'm going to end the stream here though, so once again, thank you for watching, thank you for the likes, thank you for the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and hope to be doing more of these soon. Thank you.